saying thanks for joining us. 20 ventilators have been added to the magnitude of medical equipment that have been donated by and through the NNPC in the wake of the national response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This time around, it's from OCSA and presented by and through Maestro's Defense System Limited. The NNPC's leadership role at galvanizing the industry continues to draw commendation and collaborative attention from Nigerians and various levels of government. A parcel of land gift has come to the corporation and partners to build a modern health facility in Abuja, while the Utako 70-bed facility has received ministerial commendation and satisfaction. Plus, all eyes should be on the price and demand for crude oil, which is expected to go up in view of the gradual ease of economic lockdown and national and global level. My name is Akin Agbejile. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
Our deep appreciation to the Group Managing Director of NNPC, as well as all the members of the Oil and Gas Group for their efforts towards the fight against COVID-19 in Nigeria and in Abuja particularly.
Let's take responsibility to stop the spread of the virus. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water for about 20 seconds. Or use a hand sanitizer where water and soap are not available. Cough or sneeze into a tissue and dispose properly. Or cough or sneeze into your elbow.
Avoid large gatherings. Keep physical contact to no less than 2 meters and wear a mask whenever you are in a public space.
Clean all surfaces frequently with disinfectants. Stay in your state. If you've traveled across states or just returned from a trip abroad, self-isolate for 14 days. And if you develop symptoms like frequent cough, sneezing, fever, or shortage of breath, call your state emergency number or NCDC's toll-free number on 0800 9700 0010. Take responsibility. Do it for yourself and the rest of us. This message is brought to you by the NCDC and funded by the NNPC IPPG team, an association of indigenous oil and gas producing companies.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, has disclosed that the stage is set for some final investment decisions, FIDs, for gas commercialization program in Nigeria, which will lead to massive job creation for Nigerians. Chief Silva disclosed this in Abuja recently during a world press conference where he restated his agenda for the petroleum industry. Describing Train 7 of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG as the flagship project in the industry presently, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources stressed that the project had taken off with the recent agreement reached by all the stakeholders for the engineering, procurement and construction EPC phase of the project.
By far the flagship project in this sector is the Nigerian LNG Train 7 project. Shareholders have released the EPC and the final investment decision have been taken, and Train 7 has taken off completely.
On gas development, Chief Silva said he was determined to ensure massive penetration of compressed natural gas CNG and liquefied petroleum gas LPG, which will have a spin-off effect on massive job creation for Nigerians.
With the LNG, a lot of flares are already taken down. With the CNG and the LPG penetration, a lot more flares will be taken down. And with the gas flare commercialization program going on, I believe that by the time we finish, we will not see any flares again. So what we are trying to do with this program is to encourage the penetration so that villages and rural areas begin to use gas as well. That will safeguard our forest resources and our environment.
He disclosed that the ministry was working out modalities that would enable investors have access to gas without necessarily investing massive money upfront.
Train 7 alone will create 12,000 direct jobs at the construction phase. The CNG/LPG program will create at least 1 million jobs in the short term, and many more million jobs in the longer term.
Chief Silva stated that part of his mandate was to ensure reduction of crude oil production cost in Nigeria.
NNPC is doing very well in this regard. They are looking deeper now into the budgets of operating companies.
Corroborating Chief Silva, the Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, has this to say about production figures.
Cost of production was very clear, and our instructions are very obvious and we understand it. We are following it through to the latter. We are reducing costs through many initiatives. One of them is to make sure that we don't go into business that we shouldn't. We also make sure we shorten our contracting cycle. We plan better now in the industry. We set cost to revenue ratios for every transaction that we do. And the net result of this is that it will be manifest in our cost of production, which is clearly going down. Once you do this, your production rises, your revenue rises, and your cost of barrel definitely will come down. And we are confident and we are confirming to the Minister that this is working and those targets will be met.
Speaking on the recent deregulation of the Premium Motor Spirit, PMS, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources has this to say.
We started by trying to avoid and to stop products smuggling across our borders. But with deregulation and with the removal of subsidy, I see us getting to a point where we might be encouraging the development of markets even outside our borders.
He explained that the ministry under his watch was working with all relevant stakeholders to ensure the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill.
The Petroleum Industry Bill is in 4 broad parts. A part dealing with governance, another part dealing with administration, another part dealing with host community development, and the 4th part dealing with interpretations. So basically this is the structure. The Petroleum Industry Fiscal Bill deals with the fiscal framework, and I must tell you that we believe that when this bill is passed, Nigeria will be one of the most attractive investment destinations in the oil industry.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustapha, has applauded the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for her unwavering support and several medical interventions geared towards providing a lasting solution to the novel coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria, saying the gesture is a hallmark of a national oil company. Mustapha gave this commendation while receiving 20 ventilators donated by OCSA, a France-based company, through the NNPC to bolster the fight against COVID-19 in Abuja. Maestros Defense Systems Limited presented the donation to the NNPC on behalf of OCSA to bolster the fight against COVID-19 in Abuja.
We have all, from our different and diverse backgrounds, have arisen in one accord with a resolute determination and trust in ourselves and in God to ensure that this pandemic does not overwhelm us as a people.
Earlier, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, said the corporation was pleased to hand over the 20 ventilators donated by OCSA through Maestros Defense Systems Limited to the federal government.
With this, we have practically given a ventilator materials to every state of the Federation and an ambulance to every state of the Federation, and we're also constructing permanent structure in at least 14 states of the Federation.
On his part, the Managing Director of the NNPC Medical Services Limited, Dr. Mohamed Zango, stated that the donations from the French company OCSA was the right step in the right direction.
Navy identified NNPC as a very responsible organization to deliver 20 pieces of modern ventilators that it can be used to support our patient who happens to be a victim of our COVID-19.
Kunle Aluko, who made the donations on behalf of Maestros Defense Systems Limited, praised the PTF for her unwavering efforts to combat the pandemic, assuring the readiness of his company to stand by the federal government all through these difficult times.
Part of our corporate social responsibility, we decided with OSEA to deliver 20 of these modern ventilators to NNPC, knowing that it will get to the right hands.
The Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory Administration, Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, has commended the leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for rallying the oil and gas industry to support the nation in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at the NNPC Towers during a courtesy call on the Group Managing Director, the minister said he was impressed with the quality of interventions coming from the NNPC-led Oil and Gas Industry Coalition. Malam Bello, who also commended the GMD for his sterling performance since assumption of office, said the FCT administration had been holding discussions with the NNPC medical team on the possibility of developing a healthcare facility in Abuja for the benefit of all residents and other Nigerians.
Within the master plan, we have what you call Abuja Medical City Development Project. It's in phase 2 of the city on the southern sector. We've been able to allocate a suitable piece of land there for the NNPC and its partners immediately start construction. And it's my honor and pleasure today to present you a map of the area.
He said the visit was in furtherance of the discussions with the NNPC medical team and to formally present offer of a parcel of land to NNPC and its partners to build one of the permanent medical facilities pledged by the NNPC-led Oil and Gas Industry Coalition. The Honorable Minister, who also visited the 70-bed NNPC medical facility in Utako area of the Federal Capital Territory, which is being upgraded as part of the corporation's investment in the healthcare sector in Abuja, expressed satisfaction at the quality of work and assured of its inclusion on the list of hospitals certified to handle COVID-19 patients. The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, in his response, said that the corporation, as a responsible and proactive corporate citizen, had initiated the idea of establishing a state-of-the-art medical facility in the nation's capital city even before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. He emphasized that NNPC's aspiration was to build infrastructure that would outlive the COVID-19 pandemic and capable of bringing real-time value to Nigerians. He appreciated the minister for graciously allocating land for the proposed health facility.
Our first intervention was for FCT, and the building of the family infrastructure also naturally also considered FCT and Lagos. So we'll deliver on this. As a promise, Excellency, we'll get this done.
Crude oil has responded swiftly and positively to the combination of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC Plus, production cuts and market-driven cuts by other producers that were supported by additional cuts announced recently by Saudi Arabia and its Mid-East Gulf allies. The physical market had tightened and prices have risen ahead of the 23-member OPEC Plus alliance in June. Benchmark Brent crude futures closed at $34.65 per barrel on Tuesday, significantly higher than April's drop, below $20 per barrel. The value of Oman's crude on the Dubai Mercantile Exchange has also doubled since the OPEC Plus cuts were agreed. The recovery remains tentative, however, and continued rebalancing of battered markets will require a strong demand recovery and ongoing implementation of both pledged cuts and market-driven shut-ins, according to the latest analysis by Energy Intelligence. On May 1, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and other members of the OPEC Plus alliance started implementing a deal to remove 9.7 million barrels per day from the market, the largest ever internationally coordinated production cut. The move, part of the two-year agreement, seeks to limit the damage from the collapse of demand in March, April, and May, and facilitate a recovery by limiting an accumulation of excess inventories.
Good evening and welcome to another feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. In this Eid season, there's going to be a lot of cooking at homes. This will lead to high demand for liquefied petroleum gas, otherwise known as cooking gas. On today's edition, we bring to you some of the safety measures to observe in order to avoid incidences of fire outbreak occasioned by the use of cooking gas.
Gas cooker, don't on your gas cooker when you are going to pick up matches or lighter.
I made sure that the gas burner itself is far away from where the cylinder is, where it's safe. And use of mobile phones is very dangerous, so I tell them to avoid using phones.
You have to be checking your pipe because it has happened to me. Sometimes the pipe will be roasted from the mouth of the pipe. Sometimes those pipe, there's a place, something will puncture it. It will be leaking, you might not know. It's not leaking from the mouth, it's not leaking from this table, it's from the hose.
You need to be conscious of the kind of cylinder you got from the market. That's the truth. Any cylinder that is not being approved by standard organization, which is SUN, that cylinder is not fit for gas to get inside.
You don't carry your gas cooker and be shaking. It's very, very dangerous. It might explode. And number two, the use of phone is not encouraging, especially while you are cooking. You don't get close to your gas cooker and be using your phone to call.
If you live in an apartment, you keep your cylinder outside. There are even now regulators, special cooking gas regulators. If your hose gets caught, it automatically cuts off the gas from supplying. When you are in the kitchen, you don't use the phone. And when there's no light, you don't use the light of the phone because it could ring and you'll be tempted to pick it. So why don't you just keep your phone? When you finish cooking, you use it.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Safety first. That's it on this segment. Please stay with us for the rest of the program.
Hello, glad to have you join us on this informative segment of the program. My name is Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that an oil depot is also referred to as tank farm, installation or oil terminal? It is an industrial facility for the storage of oil or petrochemical products. Did you know that an oil depot typically has tankage either above ground or below ground and framework for the discharge of products into road tankers or other vehicles such as barges or pipelines? Did you also know that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has 21 depots across the country? Did you know that the corporation has a petroleum products pipeline network of over 5,000 kilometers? Now you know. Please stay tuned for more on the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Crude oil prices rose to its highest since March, supported by lower United States crude inventories, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC-led supply cuts, and recovering demand as governments ease restrictions on people's movements imposed due to the novel coronavirus crisis. Brent crude for July rose 42 cents or 1.2% at $36.17 per barrel, while United States West Texas Intermediate WTI crude climbed 40 cents or 1.2% to $33.89 per barrel. Both benchmarks are at their highest since March 11. Crude prices have slumped in 2020, with global benchmark Brent hitting a 21-year low below $16 in April as demand collapsed. With fuel use rising and the mounting signs that the supply glut is being tackled, Brent has since more than doubled. With supply being managed through the compliance among OPEC Plus and demand recovering in North Asia, particularly in China, things are moving in the right direction in terms of supporting oil prices, analysts said. Physical crude markets at historic lows just weeks ago as demand collapsed are also rebounding. In the Brent market, the structure is pointing to supplies becoming more constrained. Analysts believe that it is now abundantly clear that the market is tightening and crude prices are rebounding as demand returns. So far in May, OPEC Plus has cut oil exports by about 6 million barrels per day, according to companies that track the flows, suggesting a strong start in complying with the deal. OPEC says the market has responded well. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
I want to thank my own partners, NNPC, who funded this and financed this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
That song, no be for person where they do birthday. Now the new song to the take wash hand well. Make we all join body to help stop the spread of virus. Wash your hand every time with soap and water with the run for at least 20 seconds. As you dey wash the hand, sing happy birthday 2 times to make sure say the hand wash wella. Make you use hand sanitizer if soap and water no dey ground. If you want cough or sneeze, do am inside tissue, then throw away the tissue. If you no get tissue, cough or sneeze inside your elbow.
No allow plenty people gather for one place so that people body no go dey touch anyhow. No near people too much. Try to dey give them space of at least 2 meters, and remember to dey wear your mask every time you dey for public place.
Make sure say you clean every surface with disinfectant every time. Stay for your state. And if you can't notice say you dey cough, dey sneeze, you dey get fever, and it dey hard you to breathe well, sharply call your state emergency number or NDDC toll-free number 0800-9700-0010. Take responsibility. Do them for yourself. Do them for all of us.
That's been the Package Oil and Gas Forum for this edition. Thanks for joining us. You know what this season is all about. Hand washing, face masking, social distancing, and keeping safe. Let's do all of that, and we'll meet next week.